Hey everybody, welcome to the Market Minute. We are back looking at 6 cards this week. We got big news this past week as well with Super Slam being dropped and then also the IRA deck. We're not really talking about too many IRA specific or Ninja specific cards in this episode. Take a look at those next week. But we do have some Guardian and Brute cards, obviously, because Super Slam was dropped and there was a lot shown off, right? The heroes, all that. So cards are moving around and let's take a look at them now. First card up, obviously, we're going with Rock, the Marvel. You can see here $55 was the low, $149.99 is the high, currently sitting at $144.24. 10 cold foils on the market right now. This one you can see from the graph, hype, especially with Tough Nut looking like a perfect hero for this, right? 60 blues and Rock gets you pretty good value. We'll have to see where this card shakes out. Obviously, we're sitting at the high. If you have an extra, maybe list it up or trade it away. You can get good value. This one I'd hold off on buying right now since it is so high and we're at the top of the market. Maybe see where it shakes out. Also, if we want to look at the non-foil, I don't have a card for that, but the non-foil is sitting at $10 right now. I sold some at 50 cents right before, just some speculation happening. That's how it goes sometimes. There's 28 in stock right now. I would liken the non-foil from Dynasty to Surgeon Ethertide, right? I think that card went up to $10, settled back down at $5, and it's been there pretty steady at $5. So I'd expect the non-foil version of Rock, if played, and if nothing changes, no bans or anything like that, you expect that card to set around $5 for the non-foil. There's also a rainbow foil at 20-something for Rock as well. Interesting. We'll see how this turns out. A lot of hype right now. Like I said, if you got an extra one of these, maybe trade it off or sell it. But buying one right now is probably not advised. All right, swing big here. Currently sitting at $28, $30.75 for the rainbow foil. Inventory sitting at 28 non-foils, 23 rainbow foils. 3-month high and low, just following right off of TCG Player. The low is at 1750. I did a little bit of searching. That was a one-off. I think we got a digit misclick there. And the low looks around $17, right? So I think maybe someone accidentally put in $1.75 when they meant $17.50. Ooh, someone got a good deal on that card. High $36.99, so there was a high sales there. But we're sitting close to that right now anyways at 28 or closer to it than 17. I think on this card, it's hard to say, right? Like some people call them for a reprint since this card has been over $25 basically for a long time now. I don't know about that. There's a lot of Everfest out there, even though 28 seems like a pretty thin inventory right now. I was a little bit surprised. I was expecting more listings, but we are in that like peak hype cycle. New set just dropped last week. We'll have to see how that inventory fills back in. People holding on to these now that they know that Brutes are coming next, confirmed. Maybe we see some more inventory filter in. But I'll never say never. This could be reprinted in Super Slam. You just don't know. I think this card is getting pretty long in the tooth. Everfest was a long time ago, even though there was a lot of Everfest printed. We'll have to see on that one. It's hard to predict these things, especially on a card that's under $30 a piece, right? So keep an eye on that. Overall, swing big, just holding steady, holding good value. Overall, we did see an upward tick on it, but it's sitting at its normal spot, I'd say. All right, Spinal Crush is the next one here. This one saw a little bit of a blip. You can see on the graph there. A non-foil coming in just under $8 at $7.86. Rainbow foil just under $19 at $18.57. Inventory on this guy, 97 non-foils, 28 rainbow foils. High, low, we got $3.99 is the low, $15.30 is the high in the last 3 months. This card's just a real good staple. I would think I'd be a little bit surprised to see this reprinted in Guardian Mastery Pack, even though it is like the de facto staple for Guardian. You can see they're 97 on TCG Player. There's just a ton of unlimited WTR out there. I will say, caveat, I always talk about the unlimited versions on these videos since they are the players' versions. So it'll be interesting where this one pops up at. I would bet on it not being reprinted. Obviously, very affordable at under $20. Even the rainbow foil, which is a pretty hard pull, is under $20, even though it is a Guardian staple. I just thought it was interesting. We did see some movement on it coming up from that $3.99 low, almost $8. And maybe as Guardians become more and more popular, we got them in the next set, and also Guardian Mastery Pack. We can see that 97 inventory get dwindled down a little bit, and then maybe a little bit of price movement on this. But with that amount of inventory, it's hard to push through that amount. So keep an eye on Spinal Crush. Posum Vistage, another Everest card, just like Swing Big, currently sitting at $10.82 for the non-foil, $12.49 for the rainbow foil. Pretty close there on the price on that, so that's interesting. Inventory sitting at 98 of these and 37 for the rainbow foil. 3-month high low, $7 for the low, $16.99 for the high. This card, very interesting. We just saw the new Guardian. She's looking for auras from Super Slam. We obviously know Volda's looking for auras as well with some of her spoiled cards. This card can be very interesting. I think it's a very strong effect, searching your deck and just putting a card into play. While this was a staple in Bravo to go get Showtime, of course. And anytime you need that, that cheap aura with that powerful effect, this card gets you another way to grab that out of your deck. Very strong card. Again, probably not targeted reprint in the Guardian Mastery Pack due to just the price and the overall inventory and just how much Everfest was opened up. So I think this one, we're sitting right in the middle of the high-low at this point. If you want to play Guardian, you might want to grab a couple of these now before they start getting chewed up and we see more and more cards for Volda and Pallades that will just soak up more and more of that inventory, get that price going, right? And this card is generic Rouse the Ancients, but it's basically a Guardian card. Non-foils sitting at $10.65. Rainbow foils sitting at $10.98, so very close there. Again, unlimited here. But the first edition did follow this same bump up and trend, right? High-low, the low sitting at $1.98 in the last 3 months. High was $9.99, so we're sitting a little bit above the high actually on this card. Inventory for the unlimited version, 11 and 13, so that's pretty thin on this card overall. And it's just a Guardian card. Getting that go again in Guardian decks is super powerful, and you can turn on its 13 attack ability quite quickly to get that 7 go again, right? Or quite easily. Blue, of course, it fits into Guardians, and you can see from the chart there that this one's been up and down a little bit, but currently sitting at a high at the moment. So keep an eye on this one as well. Again, if you want to play Guardians, maybe not a bad time to pick these up since inventory is really thin. And then the last card, of course, we got to talk about High Seas. Even though we've got all that news looking forward, it's good to look back. And I thought this one was worth mentioning because we're seeing that bounce on this card quite heavily, and it is a pirate card. So if the other pirates start to get good, well, I believe Azalea might LL today at the time of recording, not 100% confirmed yet. And so maybe Marlin gets going, and then Marlin will want to play this card as well. Puffin also showed up at the AGE on stream, so maybe there's some movement on the other two pirates. But yeah, Sunken Treasure right now sitting at $9.99, $9.67 for the rainbow foil, so we see a little bit of lag time on that. 3-month high low, $3 is the low, high is the $40, which I think is a pre-order. That's just going to be that way. So definitely not $40 high, mostly. $9.99 is basically the high right now, especially at the low at $3. There's 48 non-foils on TCG Player right now, 26 rainbow foils. Note that those rainbow foils do have the treasure version above it. So if you're blinged out decks, we'll be looking for those gold versions. And so maybe that's why we're seeing those rainbow foils so close together. It's not going to be lower than the non-foil, but you'll only see a couple dollars premium for the rainbow foils for a while, unless inventory gets super thin. I think at 48 inventory on a High Seas card, that's like middle high. It's not low, it's not high. It is, right there in the middle, I would say. I don't know how to characterize it. I expect it to be a little bit higher than that, but there's still enough in there to where the price that needs to be depleted before that price starts moving. overall, pretty interesting to see this pirate card start moving this week. It went up like $3-4, and it could continue to go that way as the other pirates become more popular. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Check you next time. Peace.